Hi everyone, welcome to my next video. Today I'm going to be bringing you my April TBR. This month I'm going to be trying to cross off as many books as I can from my NetGalley TBR. There's, at the time of filming, 77 books on my NetGalley shelf, which is a problem, and if I don't tackle it, it's never going to go down. And I'm never going to get on top of it, and I'm just going to be drowned under the weight of my NetGalley TBR. So that is what April is for. This month I have a bit of time off of work. I've got at least a week of annual leave, sort of towards the end of the month. So I'm hoping to be able to read a lot this month, hoping to be able to crack on and get through as many NetGalley books as I can. But they're not all going to be NetGalley reads, so they're not all going to be on my phone as an ebook, because some of my NetGalley books have been on there for so long that they have been published and I now own them physically as final copies. So that's what my physical TBR is going to be like, which is what I'm bringing you today. I will be reading NetGalley books this month as well, of course, but I'm not going to be talking about the ones that I'm going to be reading as ebooks in this video, because that kind of tends to vary. I kind of just tend to kind of go for whatever is running out of time the fastest on that. So that means that I don't really know what that's going to look like yet, but I do know what physical books I want to pick up. I've got 7 books here for my TBR and they're all fantasy. So that kind of says something about my mood that I'm in. I'm in the mood for fantasy at the minute. When am I ever not in the mood for fantasy? The first book that I want to read this month is Feybound by Sarah El-Arifi. I love Sarah El-Arifi, first of all. I absolutely loved The Final Strife and The Battle Drum, the sequel to The Final Strife. They were both incredible books, and I am dying for the third and final book, The Ending Fire, which is coming out later this year. But until then, I can be fed for another Sarah El-Arifi book by Feybound in this stunning fairy edition. Feybound is Sarah El-Arifi's it's more of a fantasy romance than The Final Strife was. The Final Strife is definitely a more political fantasy, whereas this is more fantasy romance. We've got fae, we've got elves, and in this we have 2 elven sisters who are exiled into the wilderness beyond the elven lands, and there they encounter the fae, who have not been seen for a millennia. And I didn't realise, but this says that it is the first book in a new trilogy from this author, so Sarah El-Arifi, keep them coming. I'm really excited for this. I just really love Sarah El-Arifi's writing. She has this way of writing fantasy where you just feel so immersed into it. So I'm really, really excited to pick this one up. And I can't believe I haven't done already, because I even have the arc of it. I have a physical arc of this book, and I didn't get around to reading it before it was published properly. Disgraceful. The second book I want to pick up is one I'm more apprehensive about, and that is The Hurricane Wars by Fia Guanzon. All I know about this really is that it was originally a Raylo fanfic. So we do have this stunning edition of it, which again is a fairy loot book, and I believe that this tells the tale of sort of light versus dark, so it's that kind of classic fantasy trope. So there is a war going on in this book, obviously the Hurricane Wars, and I believe that the Hurricane Wars was originally ignited by light magic, which is the magic that the female main character in this book has. And there's also the male main character, Alaric, who is like the son of the Night Emperor? They're oppressing these people essentially. And that's kind of all I know about it, but I'm just apprehensive about this one. I've seen a lot of people saying that despite the hype of it, that it wasn't actually that good. But it's one I need to cross off my list. And it's massive, so I kind of maybe just want to start the month off just getting this out of the way, seeing how I feel about it. The fact that it is a Raylo inspired book does make me nervous, because the only other Raylo inspired book I've read was The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, and while I did like that, I'm just not a Raylo girly. I'm not a Star Wars girly. Raylo is not like a ship that I ship, so we'll see. Let's go on to other books I am much more excited about, and that includes Dragon Rider by Taran Marafu. This is one of my most anticipated releases of the year. I was lucky enough to be sent a stunning physical proof by the publisher, so thank you to Harper Voyager for sending this to me. I mean, first of all, it's massive. Like, It is huge. I will actually read you the synopsis of this one purely because all I really know about it is that it has dragons. That's kind of just what sold me on it, because dragons. Jay is nothing more than a royal hostage and lowly servant to the empire that slew his family and now rule his people. He served the old emperor for most of his life and only watches on from a distance as the empire grows more powerful. A new alliance is to be formed as the young prince is betrothed to Princess Erika of the Dansk Kingdom, a people from a northern icy realm. The princess brings with her a gift, dragons. Only Dansk royalty can soulbound with these magical beasts to draw on their power and strength. Until now. Sign me up. Dragons! Yes. Just so excited for this. So excited for dragons. Don't need to know anything more about it. Sold. The next book I want to pick up in April is If I Have to Be Haunted by Miranda Sun. I've owned this since, like, when was this? This was a Fairy Loot pick sometime last year. This was a Fairy Loot pick for September 2023. So I've owned it since then, which means it's been on my NetGalley shelf for well over a year, and that's kind of disgraceful. This is a YA romance where we have a girl who can speak to ghosts, and her mother doesn't want her to use her ability because she wants her to be the perfect Chinese American daughter, and then she discovers the ghost of her nemesis in the woods, and she makes a pact that she will bring him back to life. And this says, Miranda Sun's debut touches on the power and conflicts of mother-daughter love, first romance, and finding your place in the world while honouring your culture. Full of heart, humour and thrills, If I Have to Be Haunted will put a spell on you. I just love the sound of this. I think it would be perfect for spooky season, but I really just need to read this, so I'm not going to save it until then. But this does sound incredible. I've seen a lot of people saying they really enjoyed it, so it's one I'm really excited to pick up. To finally pick up. The next book that I would really like to read in April is A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft. This is such a shiny cover, but this is also a stunning edition, and I really want to pick this up because it just sounds so magical and cozy. So this is a Regency era fantasy where we have Neve, who is a dressmaker, and she can weave or stitch emotions and memories into fabric, which sounds amazing, but this magic is actually cursed to eventually kill her. So she is hired to make a dress for the upcoming royal wedding. So she goes to the palace and she actually ends up meeting the prince, who is the groom. And I believe that there is a bit of chemistry between them. And then a gossip column, so very Bridgerton-esque, a gossip column threatens to like expose their like connection or whatever, so her and the prince, unless she uncovers the secrets of the royal family. So this just sounds so cute. I really enjoyed the author's other book, A Far Wilder Magic, and I just think that this sounds like it's going to be incredible. I really like Alison Saft's writing. It's really whimsical, it's really wholesome, and I just think this is going to be an incredible read. I'm so excited for this. I also would really like to read another cozy fantasy, and that is Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands by Heather Fawcett. This is the sequel to Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which I read possibly last year and loved, and I'm really excited to pick up the sequel for this. First of all, the cover, that is stunning. Second of all, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies followed a professor, Emily Wilde, who travelled northwards in order to meet fairies and to learn about them and to write about them and to study them. We also had another professor, Wendell Bambleby, who followed her, and there was a bit of a romance going on, and we met loads of fae folk and went into the fairy realms, and it was just one of the most magical books I think I've ever read. It was really the epitome of magic, and that means I'm really excited for the sequel. And in this one we have Emily, who is tasked to create a map of the fairy realms, and I just think this is going to be great. I really loved how the first book in the series, it had footnotes and it really read like an academic journal but in an accessible way, and I'm really hoping that this book will follow the same lines. I'm going to check actually to see if it does have footnotes. Oh, it does! It does have footnotes. Okay, that's fun. I like that. Oh, and in this one, with the task of creating a map of the fairy realms, they're going to the Austrian Alps, so possibly quite a cute snowy setting. I'm really, really excited for this. This might be the book I pick up first in April because I'm so excited to pick this one up. And the final book on my April TBR is one that I don't own a finished copy of yet, but I really need to pick up a finished copy of it, and that is The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden. Catherine Arden is the author of the Bear and the Nightingale trilogy, which is a Russian-inspired fantasy trilogy. It's an adult fantasy, and I loved it. Cannot tell you how much I love that series, so I'm really excited to pick up her latest work. And I think this is going to be very different from The Bear and the Nightingale. I don't believe this has any Russian inspiration. This one is set during World War I. I'll read you out kind of the synopsis of this. A young woman searches for her brother believed dead in the trenches of World War I, despite eerie signs that suggest otherwise in this gripping and powerful novel. January 1918. Laura Ivan travels to the forbidden zone of World War I in Belgium. She has volunteered as a nurse at a private hospital, but her real reason for being there is to find her brother Freddie, who is missing. Soon after arriving, she hears whispers about ghosts moving among those still living, and a strange man, an innkeeper, whose music offers soldiers the gift of oblivion. Could Freddie have met him too? But if so, where is he? November 1917. Freddie Ivan awakens after an explosion to find himself trapped under an overturned pillbox alongside an enemy soldier, a German. Against all odds, the two men form a bond and succeed in clawing their way out. But once in no man's land, they realise there is nowhere they can go where they won't be shot as deserters. As the killing continues, they meet a man, a fiddler, who seems to have the power to make the hellscape that surrounds them disappear. But at what price? I know this is going to be incredible. I've heard really great reviews of it so far. Catherine Arden has some of the best writing I think I've ever read, and this is one I desperately need to pick up, one I desperately need to get a finished copy of. Really, really excited for this. Those were all of the books that I want to read in April. This is a pretty chunky TBR, to be fair. I'm feeling it's doable. So this is just my physical TBR, as I said. I will be reading ebooks as well on NetGalley, but this is kind of just the physical ones I really, really want to pick up. I think we've got a great stack there. I think that all these books look incredible. I mean, I am nervous about the Hurricane Wars, but other than that, I think these all sound really, really great. I've heard really good things about them, the covers are stunning, and they're all ones that I've been really excited for when I first received the NetGalley arc of them, which just makes it even more bad that I never got around to reading them before they were published. But this does look like a great TBR, and one that I'm really excited for. So yeah, let me know if there are any of these books that you've read and what you thought of them. I think that I'm not sure which one I'm going to pick up first. It's probably going to be Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands, because how could it not be? And it would mean I'd not finish a series, because I think there has been announced that there would be a third book in the series now, but it would mean that I would be caught up with the series at least. So very excited. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you wanna, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!